Hi, everybody. I just wanted to give a little story time. We haven't had a story time in a little while, Which is funny because I have 1.5 million stories, but I just haven't got around to talking about a lot of stuff, which is weird because I have so much I want to say. But this one is a more recent one, and I'm very, very pleased by it. So, as you may know, I'm very much into the dark aesthetic. I'm very much into goth. Um, I'm very critical about, I've memed on it before in other videos, but I'm very critical when it comes to goth culture. I may not fully dress into it anymore, but I'm very much still into it. I don't wear like the creepers or anything like that. I'm in my 30s now, and unfortunately, I work too much to have the time to do that, if you may know. But, anyways, so before this whole part of the story commences, there was an incident on Instagram. Oh, Bazbe's on Instagram. Okay, so let's see. So there is this musician named Ross Ryan. I really like Ross Ryan quite a bit. I think he's very talented in his production of music, how he records and writes songs. I really like it. It's very, for me to describe it, it's very 2006 ish and 2000. I'm sorry, it's very 80s to 2006. That's how I look at it. I know that's probably not what a lot of other people would agree on, but this is how I kind of click with the musical taste. So, sorry, I have slight allergies. I'm trying not to sneeze. So, I followed this band called Dead on a Sunday on Instagram, but before that, I was listening to the music on Spotify. That's how I discovered him, was through a Darkwave playlist. Well, whenever I'm at work, I like to play music quite a bit. If it's not that, it's podcasting. And it's usually like horror movie podcasting, so just keep your head into where my vibe is. So while I'm listening to music, this really good music songs, or these really good songs would play, and the one that really caught my eye was Revenge by Dead on a Sunday, and I was like, oh, that's cool, I really like this song. Like, I don't know if this was his intention, but it dead ass reminded me of the Black Parade album Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge by My Chemical Romance. It really took me back to that. So I started investigating and I started listening to the songs on Apple Music. And then eventually I followed them on Instagram. And now this is where the story takes place. It's been about a year. So while I'm while I'm on Instagram, I come across a Britney Spears cover that Dead on a Sunday had done. It was for Hit Me Baby One More Time. Now, the song kind of got a little viral again thanks to Kung Fu Panda and Jack Black, Tenacious D, all of that. So, Dead on a Sunday decided to do a cover of that. And it was not a bad cover by any means. I really like his covers that he does. He makes really good musical choices when he makes covers. He's done things from When in Rome to Britney Spears to Goodbye Horses to the Halloween theme song, like a more modern Halloween. I don't know. It's fucking great. It's golden music. I love it. But while I'm watching it, he made the cat, and this is what got me a little bit. He's put down the caption that Britney Spears is goth. And, me actually really liking this musician, I was a little disrupted because usually my first response to be treating towards people that act like this and say things like this is to call them stupid or you're retarded or you're a poser. But look, so here's the thing. When I was growing up, goth was always like the rejection of mainstream. Britney Spears is like 1 billion% fucking mainstream. Yeah, you can turn any song into a dark wave, slow beat goth song. That's fine. You can do anything in the style of The Cure. That's great. But him labeling that, it got me a little upset. But I didn't act like how I usually would because I respect the artist and I really like his music and I didn't want to hate his music. So I just simply said, Britney Spears is not goth. This is not goth. I was never expecting a response. I was actually expecting a response from, his followers to get mad at me. Because, what fan base doesn't have a toxic fan base? So I was expecting that, and instead it was actually Ross himself that came after me. And he said, I'm going off of memory here because I've told the story a billion times already because I'm very happy with how it turned out. But Ross told me that goth is whatever the fuck I want it to be. And I probably said something like, "You're dumb." I don't think I said you were dumb. I don't think I said that, but I know I said something like, "I disagree. It's not like this." I don't remember word for what I said, but I know I was very respectful as much as I'm able to be in that context of that conversation. To me, it was more of a debate than an argument. That's how I look at it, anyways. I don't even think he's ever even going to see this video, so I'm not pussyfooting around. This is just how it was, how I remember it, anyways. And then he sent me a tag for another video of him interviewing somebody. I can't remember who it was, or they were interviewing him, or it was a live stream, or it was something. But they were talking about, like, when people get older, they start reflecting on what goth is, but they don't dress the part anymore. Well, I fucking do. That's the thing. I do, as much as I still can. I don't wear makeup or anything like that because I have a beard and I don't want to have to scrub that shit out of my beard. Also, I don't really believe in wearing makeup if you're a dude, but that's just me. I grew up in Texas. That's just our part of the culture, I guess. So he tagged me in that, and I was just like, I disagree. And then, a little bit of exchange back and forth, and I thought it was over with because we didn't have any more responses. I didn't want to, like, engage any further because I didn't want to end up, like I said, I didn't want to end up hating this man. I liked his music quite a bit. So, with that being said, what happens is 2 days later, because this happened on a Friday, it was on a Sunday, I was going to go get donuts. I felt like the need to have donuts. So while I was there, he actually had responded to me again, which I was just like, bro, did I live in your head rent-free for 2 days? Like, what is going on? I was so confused. Or maybe he was busy because he's on tour right now. I don't remember if he was on tour during this part. He probably was. But maybe he just hadn't checked Instagram. But he came back after 2 days, and he said, you know what, you're probably a cool guy despite all of this. And then he followed me on Instagram, which fucking was like, to me, I was like, holy shit on a fucking sandwich. What the fuck is happening? That is the third person that has ended up following me on social media that I respected. Well, the second one, not so much. First one was Goose Wayne from Dr. Phil. He was in PewDiePie episodes. Goose Wayne has followed me a couple times. I don't think he's currently following me on Twitter now, but I don't remember. I don't check Twitter. I mean, I do check Twitter. I just don't check who's following me on Twitter is what I should specify here. Second one was Bo Blacks, the YouTuber who makes a lot of content drama videos. He followed me, and I was like, "Ooh." Whenever I was going after Asmongold, the streamer, and me and Asmongold got into it on Twitter. That was documented. But then Dead on a Sunday followed me, and then he DM'd me as saying, hey, whenever I'm in your area, hit me up, and I'll get you into my show for free. And I was like, whew, VIP. I fucking like that. It was a big deal for me because I live in Los Angeles, and guess what? He was coming to Los Angeles. He came on 9/11, which is almost been a month ago. That is crazy. Where's the time gone? So he came down on 9/11, and I hit him up, and I was like, hey, don't forget me. And I've also been telling him, like, hey, whenever you, like, blow up, because I think his music's good enough to be big. I told him, like, hey, don't forget me, and he's like, how could I ever forget you? And then he actually got me tickets to the show. So I brought a guest, and we came to the show, and it took me back. It really took me back. Like, there were two bands playing before them. One was called Dev, I think. I actually followed her. It's Devin Thompson or something. She's really talented. I really like her music. I just haven't really listened to all of the album yet. Her song Shark Teeth, phenomenal. You should listen to that. It's really good. The other one was Haunted, I believe. I really liked them. I thought they were good. I thought they were really funny because I like that the singer came out wearing sunglasses in the dark. I was like, that's pretty much what I would do. And then Dead on a Sunday performed, and I got as close to the front as I could. And it was a kick-ass concert. I got the whole thing filmed on my phone. I just haven't uploaded anything as of yet. So while they're performing, it's like 30 minutes into it. That's when Ross actually realized that I was standing there, or he noticed me finally. Maybe he noticed me beforehand, but this is when I noticed that he was looking at me. Because he was singing, and he was looking to the crowd, and he stopped and went like that. And I was like, yo, hey, what's up? I'm here. And he looked at me a couple times, and, it was great. It was great. The concert, phenomenal. Had a good time, not even being funny here. This was my favorite concert I've been to. Straight up. It was a fucking banger the entire time. I'm somebody who got really close to Green Day when I went and saw Green Day back in 2017. Um, this one blew Green Day out of the water, and I thought Green Day was the best concert I've seen up to that point. And I'm also somebody who saw All Time Low like 3 times. Like, I got close to the stage. I was so close to the last All Time Low concert that I could have hit Demi Moore, or not Demi Moore, but Demi Lovato with a water bottle. I was like 10 feet away. I almost considered doing it because I hate Demi Lovato, but you know, I'm not going to do that. I'm not that kind of person. So when the concert finished up, I went to go wash my hands real quick, and I don't know why I don't. Because somebody spilled their alcohol on me when they're walking by me. I was like, why did I do that? Somebody spilled alcohol on me when they're walking by, and then I come out of the bathroom. There's Ross right there, and I'm like, yo. So I stand there, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm gonna be nice and let people come take their photos with them, and then I'm gonna come talk to him for a minute and thank him for the great show and thank him for the tickets, and just thank him for being cool in general. I wasn't expecting all this. So, anyways, we talked for a couple minutes. We don't have long talk because he has to go up front. I mean, I get it. It would have been cool to talk more, but I get it. I understand. Like, I'm not gonna make a big deal about the whole thing. It was nice taking a photo, shaking hands. We took 3 photos, shook hands, talked for about 2 minutes. I bought some of his stuff before I left. I bought a hoodie, a Dead on a Sunday hoodie, because I want to represent. And I also know that bands make most of their money from selling things. They're selling merch, I should say. Most of the money they make through tickets, I think from what I understand, it kind of just pays the insurance for the venue. So I made sure to buy a hoodie, and I was quite impressed about the quality of the hoodie, because I've bought jackets at concerts before, and they're usually like really cheap, subpar quality, but this hoodie was really good. I was just like, damn, I'm fucking impressed. And I bought his, I think it was the first CD. I got the CD in my car. I don't even own a CD player. That's the thing. I can't even play the CD, but I wanted to represent the merch, and I wanted to show off that I've got it. I just didn't get it signed like I wanted. I wanted to have him sign the CD, and I just kind of forgot to do that. But there's always next time. And I wanted to just support because I really like this band, and I'm following them on Patreon. It's the only person I've ever donated money to on Patreon. And I would highly recommend his music. So if you're a fan of darkwave, emo, goth, you could say, just any of that kind of genre of music, he's a phenomenal singer. He's really good. Like, he's better than most shit you would hear on the radio, like, straight up. Probably everything. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being biased or whatever. But also, later on, he followed me on Twitter, and I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, yo. I tripped out. I was at work when he did that, and he followed me on Twitter. I fucking screamed. I was like, no fucking way. I didn't expect it. Because he told me to send him the photos, and we'll keep in touch, and I thought it was, like, maybe a one-and-done thing, which is fine. It's fine. I know he likes some of the things I post on Instagram, but I'm not expecting us to be like buddy buds or anything out of this. It would be cool if that happened, because it could be like my uncle. My uncle's good friends with the band Kiss. Like, they know him by name. He deadass flies all over the world to go hang out with them and go to dinner with them. He's been to Denny's with them, even breakfast. I thought it'd be cool to have my own version of that, you know? Dead on a Sunday's really talented. I really like the music. You can look at their YouTube channel. I will leave it in the description. And yeah, but that's my story. This is one of the cooler things that's happened to me. I felt very much like VIP. So, you know, if you ever see this video, thank you very much once again, Ross. Phenomenal show. Thank you for being a kick-ass person. I know you don't think you're cool, but I think you're pretty fucking cool. And I'll see everybody in the next video. Goodbye. Thank you.